What time is it? It's Packard Folks at time. Hat? Check. Shirt? Check. Pants? Optional. Mug? Double check. Check us out at cafepress.com/PackardPokesat where you can get all this great merchandise and more.
Do you like Packard Pokesat and want to hear it on demand and on the go? Download the free app today at Stitcher.com. Available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
This is Packard Pokesat, and I'm poking at your news. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another fine edition of Packard Pokesat. I am your immutable and unmutable host, Packard Sonic. And joining me tonight from the far west coast is Connie, Practical Magic 9.
Magic 8 Ball, how am I feeling tonight? I say, as I see it, yes. Well, that's not helpful at all.
No. And joining us from the ill that is Illinois is Tom Leeds. Tom, the atheist on.
That's me, Magic 8 Ball. How am I doing this night? Cannot predict now. Well, I guess that makes sense.
I would ask, but I'd have to actually type something in there, and I don't want to give it any random words. But
You need the adult swearing version of the Magic.
yes, I need the adult swearing version. Do they make that one?
They should. I think it would sell.
Yeah, I know it would sell. At least I would buy one. It would say "fuck off." I was like, okay, all right, I'll check later. So, if you haven't quite guessed, we kind of talking about predictions and things like that, and that is tonight's topic. We're talking about psychics and people who prey on people like this. And if you were psychic, you'd already known this. So, and I would never tell you. So tonight's topic is Psych-a-con. The con is real. The psychic is fake. So
It's like, why do psychics need to con people? Don't they all win the lottery?
yeah, that's a great question. I've asked them that. Like, their excuse is that they can't use it for self-gain. Then why are you charging money? That's self-gain. There was a psychic that was in town. Oh, the place is gone now, but they've moved across town. They've had to go out of business a few times. But they had this house out there. It was one summer my ex-wife and I were walking along and said they had psychics. We stopped in, and it's like, oh, let's just check it out, see how much they charge, and just as a lark. And I thought, it was like $10. I was like, I could afford $10. But it's like, oh no, it's gonna be $50 for both. No, just for one. It's like, no, sorry, $50 is way too steep for me. Thank you, good night. And we walked right back out. So it's like, should have predicted that. She should have came to the door and said, no, our prices are going to be too high for you, so you don't have to come in. If she had met us at the door and I didn't have to, ask her what the prices was, I probably would have paid it at that point. Because she knew what I was going to ask.
You tell me.
You tell me. Tell me more.
Tell me what my question is.
Right, exactly. Tell me what my question is. And sometimes you come across online psychics. I've come across these people as well. There was this one number of years ago. I was living in Madison at the time, way number of years ago. I sent them several questions, and they just gave me these really vague answers, like completely couldn't help me at all. This was not the first time I figured it was fake, but I mean, come on now.
Well, I'm looking at a web page right now that I found in our searching for articles.
Mm-hmm.
It's www.keen.com.
Mm-hmm.
And the top psychics they're listing here, the first 3 minutes are free, but then it's $20 a minute after that. And the next one is $26 a minute.
Holy shit.
And then, varying prices down to just under $3 a minute. But still, I don't see how I don't know. I guess people really call them and pay that kind of do re mi to get somebody to give me honest answers. If yes, then call now.
Connie, as soon as we get done with the show, you and I are setting up a psychic hotline, and we're getting into this business immediately.
If you look at it, they only need to have one caller a day to make a living.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had
I'm
no
in the
compunction morally, Packard, I'd do that.
Yeah, if I didn't have this thing called morals, I would definitely do that. Did they have a number to call to find out how you get into vault? Just for research purposes only.
Well, I don't know, but we do have that. We do have that one webpage we found where it says the 13 signs that you might have psychic abilities.
Yes, well, we'll get to that here in a little bit because it is
that
really interesting because we went over this at our staff meeting and we had such a ball at this. It's like, Connie, I figured out we have psychic abilities apparently according to this site. And of course, that pretty much everybody has psychic abilities according to this website. The whole page, everything is so. What's the word I'm looking for? Not random, but I mean it's just so general, vague. Yeah, vague in general. That is like you could attest it to anything really.
Yeah. Well, I think that's their modus operandi. I mean, most psychics you see on. Well, there's not the defunct Montel Williams show, but those shows they're doing cold reading. Yeah,
and this is basically supposedly using like ESP or whatever. You know, it's pseudoscience. It's basically what it boils down to is just fucking pseudoscience. You know, I've heard the argument say, well, some people don't see that stuff going on because they think we don't use 100% of our brain. If we use more of our brain, everybody would be psychic. And that's actually another myth. That we actually use a lot more than our brain than just 10%. This is basically a myth. It's a perpetuated urban legend that most humans make use of only 10% of the brain, and it's been attributed by many people, including Albert Einstein. By extrapolated, it suggests that the person may harness this unused or potential increase in intelligence for other things, like telekinesis, whatever, just add a tele in front of it. The only thing a tele that I like adding is the DV, television. So,
I think the whole thing started off with basically, people like Einstein, people who are really smart, people just assumed, well, he must use more of his brain. That's why he's so smart.
Yeah. And that's basically just not true. These people, several years ago, there was a woman who had gone on to Montel. And she was one of these big. Her name was Sylvia Brown. She died a few years back. She was charging the police department up to almost $1,000 to quote unquote help them out, and she had a very poor track record. I mean, it was no better than guessing. In fact, a lot of it was really, really horrible. One of the people that she had said was alive. All right, now there's a guy. His name was Terrace Farrell. She told a woman that he was because he was a firefighter that was involved in 9/11. She claimed that he was alive, but turns out that he was wrong. She was wrong, and his body was found in the rubble about a month later. That's just one example, and yet people would turn to her and pay her for her services.
Well, when you have somebody with a national platform, which actually Montel Williams was somebody that. He seems very trustworthy. Actually, he talked about a lot of things. At least back when I watched him, I don't know. I just thought he kind of knew what he was talking about. He's very sincere. But no, he not only promoted Sylvia Brown. She became a weekly guest, and it was all about ratings. Yeah. And obviously it was false. And I don't know. I couldn't watch the show anymore. Montel's show because it was such a breach of trust to realize that he was doing that. But it's not just him. Obviously, there's other places that are happy to cater to these charlatans. And Sylvia Brown said, "Oh, my accuracy record is what was it, like 87 to 95%."
That's what she claimed.
She claims that, but no, she was not.
Yeah, because these people don't realize that we have recordings, and then people show up.
That's what the TV shows do like to do, though, is to hyper edit those bits. And there's if you get transcripts, they're not even the full transcript of the show. Yep. You don't see all the misses and all of the people who actually might have stood up and called these people out. Yeah. Although I think usually these audiences are filled with people who want to believe.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
For the most part.
Definitely. There was one that in particular it comes to mind that what was it? There was a Sylvia had passed away before this lady was found. She had told this lady that her daughter had been kidnapped and was killed. And then after Sylvia had died, this lady was actually found, but she was alive. She was one of those women, one of the 4, 5 women that were being held captive in Ohio.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, she had said that girl had died, so she's like, her spirit is talking to me and saying, yeah, you need to move on. And that woman died thinking her daughter was dead when she was actually alive. And she was just, it was just like 2 or 3 years later after she had made this prediction, or, several years after prediction, and after Sylvia Brown had died, when she was discovered. Sylvia was also like off, claimed that she was the date of her own death. Psychic, they will avoid that question because they'll say, I can't predict my own death, which is a safe bet because nobody can, really, unless you're going to take your own life. You can't predict it.
You can't plan ahead.
No, you can't plan ahead. Not for that normally. No. And when she died, I didn't shed a tear. And it's not because I'm unfeeling. I don't feel for these people that were such fucking scam artists.
Yeah, no. Well, another very famous medium. I don't think that Alison Dubois is actually as famous as her character that portrayed her on TV, which was the TV show Medium, and it starred Cusack. Was that no Patricia Arquette?
That was a
Alison,
real person based on a real person.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's based on a real woman who claims to have helped the sheriff's department in Phoenix, Arizona. She's kind of an awful person too, and she actually hasn't helped that many people. She has she doesn't have an accurate track record at all. But again, she was made famous by the TV show, and I don't know. This is how people inform themselves too about this stuff. I mean, the show The Ghost Whisperer. You want.
Oh yeah.
These shows popularize that kind of thing, and you get a lot of people who think that this is real. This must be real. So the way they portray it.
Doc and Dog in the chat room said, "Throw enough darts and you'll hit a bullseye eventually." Yeah, if you're looking right at the dartboard, yeah, absolutely. I would say you most likely can, unless you're a really bad shot. It's like I throw it over here and then I end up sticking it in the bartender's ear. So, and he's behind me. So, yeah.
So now I'm thinking that Buffy the Vampire Slayer is also based on a real person.
Actually, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Because that means the angel's also real.
Yeah, that would mean. Yeah, definitely means
some David Boreanaz, right?
I just did the 8-ball thing just for shits and giggles. Said, "Are we gonna start? Will I start on time?" And it said, "Try again later." So I put a question on there, and then it said, "Reply hazy, try again." So I'm like, okay, I've already experienced it, and you still can't figure it out.
I don't know. That sounds pretty accurate to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, the predictions and stuff are like total bullshit to start off with.
The most recent Gallup poll was released back in 2005, and it wasn't that different from the poll in 2001. 3/4 of the American public believe in the paranormal in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
The statistics are really kind of discouraging. Yeah. When you look at it that way, I mean, extrasensory perception, 41% of people believe in that. 37% think that houses can be haunted.
Yeah, we got a lot of hate on one of our videos because we called out this faker who destroyed a house for no fucking reason, and he's like, "Oh, everybody's like, you don't know, your haunted houses are real," and you're like, "No, fuck off, they're not real." So you're being stupid. So, and Yeah, no, there was a video that was attached to one of our links here that was these people from, I was like, the Today Show. I'm not going to show the video, but they had invited several psychics to a house that just been built. No one has ever lived there before. And they invited, what was it, 5 psychics, as I understood. First one came and said, "Oh, this place is clean. There's no bad vibes." And then took her money and left. She's like about $200. Next guy came in, and he said, "Oh no, it's got bad vibes and things like that." So he's spinning around with a bucket with smoke coming off the bottom of the bucket. I mean, he's literally holding it upside down, and he's spinning around. Ooh. And when they were confronting them, and they were trying to, in one part of the room, one of their associates came in and scooped up all the money.
I know.
I'm like, I was like, fucking, you can know as a scam artist when they've got a third person there waiting in the wings to come in and make sure that they can come in and rob you.
Who knows what else they might be ready to do?
Yeah.
Make other stuff happen, make sounds happen or something. Dude, jeez.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Well, even that wasn't as good as the ones that were spitting on everything.
Oh yeah, the
that's
spitters.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Just
Spitting and blowing cigar smoke.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
on stuff.
That's what I want in my
Yeah.
house. I'm a non-smoker, and I want someone to come in my house and start smoking a cigar because that takes care of the evil spirits somehow. I knew this lady a number of years ago. Still know her. We don't talk too much every once in a great while. But when she moved, she had her new place blessed. And I was tempted to go over and say, "Hey, I unblessed your house. I had somebody else come over from another religion and bless your house with another religion." I was tempted to say that I was going to do that, or I did that, and to see if she was like, "Oh, not going to get the house re-blessed." I'm wondering if she got charged for this, or she just had a friend do this. I'm like, what would be the point? There's no point in this because it doesn't do anything.
Well, people believe that spirits attached to places or clothing or objects or other people, I don't know how you can undo that mental process.
Yeah.
People are looking for anything that makes them feel better. And
Yeah.
if you can convince them they'll feel better, by convincing them their house is haunted.
Right. Or their pants are haunted. Like, remember, there was a video of Pat Robertson a couple of years ago. He would say, "Oh, don't go to buy anything at Goodwill because there's evil spirits attached to the clothing. So if you're going to buy clothing there, you better have it blessed before you put it on. Otherwise, the demons will come in and attach to you. So don't take it in your house. Leave it like on the porch or something because, demons can't walk through the door." Apparently, if they get like an inch from the door, it's like, "Oh, I just can't get in. Oh, you didn't take me inside. Come on, take me inside."
Pat wasn't by chance selling clothes, was he?
No, that's Baker. Baker's the one that's pushing the crap.
He's selling the food buckets.
Yeah, he's selling the food buckets.
Yeah.
I wonder if those got demons attached to them because from what I've seen of the food, it looks horrible and tastes horrible. Apparently,
Pretty sure the people who dug up those potatoes are demon possessed. They were handling those potatoes that they make that crappy soup out of, right?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. Going on to the psychic test. Now, this we had a little bit of fun with. We found this over at psychicelements.com/blog/psychic-abilities. So you can look it up. There'll be a link below here.
Just be careful. They want you to chat with them.
Oh yeah, there's a chat window that pops up. Doesn't say, "Hi, so-and-so, I knew you're here to check out our website," whatever. Unless you've got blockers on there, script blockers, it's going to pop up for you. I'm just saying that we just did this for research. It was funny. And they want you to buy something. This is what this boils down to. They want you to buy something. So don't fall for that shit. Okay, one of the things was if you're psychic if you have higher levels of intuition. This is a criteria for being psychic. I am all over this. Okay, I am so all over this. I can often predict what people are going to say, and I'm talking to somebody because you know why? Because I have this thing. I observe people. I observe habits. It's called psychology because you get into a conversation with somebody, especially if you know them or you can kind of read their mannerisms, and sometimes you don't even need sometimes you don't need their mannerisms. You just, the way the conversation is going to flow, you know that this is what they're going to say. That's not just it's a little bit of intuition, but it's simple psychology. There's no magic behind it. And this is how they describe it. If you have ever known who is calling on the phone before picking it up, who a text is coming before it chimes in, or if you've predicted an event before it occurred, you have a higher level of intuition. This is a step forward towards discovering psychic gift within yourself. No, it's not.
Damn it.
I mean, I've had it. I've random chance, complete random chance. I went to pick up the phone, and there was somebody who had already just called me, who I was going to call, and there's like, oh, all right, you're already there. It's completely random. It's completely random. It's just pure coincidence. There's no intuition on there. Sometimes I've had a couple times I've just picked up the phone. It's like someone was already there just as I was about to pick up the phone anyway, to call somebody else. So it was just a random chance.
Are you mocking my power of knowing what song is coming on the radio next, really?
I've done that too. That too. Or TV shows. This is a good one with TV shows. I was just thinking about this TV show, and sure enough, there it is.
Must be me.
It must be me, yeah. The next one on this list was, have you ever experienced deja vu countless times? Connie, have you ever experienced deja vu countless times? Have you ever experienced deja vu countless times?
Yes.
Have you ever experienced deja vu countless times?
Wait.
How about you, Tom? Have you experienced deja vu countless times?
I experienced deja vu every single moment.
Asking the Magic 8 Ball. Yes, definitely.
They describe this. Have you ever been somewhere before, and even though you haven't, and it's a great feeling of familiarity with people, places, and things, then you must be experiencing deja vu. I have this thing called vujade, the experience I've never been there before. So. Because we're pattern-seeking animals. This can be easily explained. We're pattern-seeking animals. We see the familiar. People build things in patterns. Okay, some cities are huge, some cities are small. You go to a small city let's say you're from a small city, and you go to another small city, and unless the geography is completely different, you're going to have some familiarity from it. Or you could say, oh, this house looks familiar, because you've seen a house of a similar build somewhere along where you live already.
Yeah.
See, most of my deja vu incorporates walking into a room and not knowing why I'm there.
That's called old age.
But it happens every day. Deja vu.
That's called a rut.
Yeah, that's called a rut. Dawkins says deja vu is the opposite of Alzheimer's. Asks if it's the opposite of Alzheimer's.
Maybe they're the same thing. We just don't realize it.
Yeah, maybe it is. The next one hits on the list is visions are normal for you. You're going to see some repeating stuff here because they just kind of repackage the one before it or several lines down. So that's not on me. That's just on the page here. It says, have you ever had visions of future events? Which is almost the same thing as deja vu. It's just differently packaged.
Yeah.
Either something is happening in the next hour, 3 days from now. You have psychic abilities if you have them in your dreams, because we all know how dreams are always correct. Within your waking daily life, you may have a psychic gift. I took that gift and I said, return to sender. I'm just saying.
What's the difference between visions and daydreaming?
Right, exactly.
I don't understand.
And the thing about dreams, people don't understand about, this is one thing they do not understand about dreams. I mean, especially people who believe this crap, is the fact is that dreams are a product of just your brain, your daily life experiences. And it's like, well, well, I had a dream I was on a flying magic carpet. What is that supposed to mean? I don't go around flying on magic carpets. Well, no, that's just your imagination. It's just giving you a release. It's like that could be anything. You know, you could, if you think about it, the dream could be, the magic carpet could be your car, your truck. You know, it's like you just enjoy going out and doing things. I'm not going to sit here and try to interpret people's dreams because it doesn't mean anything either.
No.
It's just something it's a product of your mind. I mean, the dreams don't do anything except for entertain you and keep you entertained while you're asleep. Some people say, "Oh, I don't remember if I had dreams." Most people don't. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I've had really interesting dreams. I wake up, I write down some notes down, and I look in the morning and go, "What the fuck was that?" What the hell was I smoking last night? And I don't smoke anything. Or I'm never eating that before I go to bed again, because whatever the hell I ate just does not seem to want to resonate with me tonight. No, I'm never doing, no. Note to self, do not eat split pea soup before bed. Okay, all right, got it. So, and here we go, back into the deja vu thing here again. Only this time they've repackaged it again as a gut feeling is always accurate. Again, this is just our pattern-seeking recognition. We see patterns in things. It says, if you just know, quote-unquote, something before it happens, that's linking back to the deja vu again, and you have a sense of events of what is happening or what is about to happen, this is a strong sign of a psychic. No, it's a strong sign of that you're recognizing about stuff that's going on around you. I mean, unless you're going to, like, everybody hit the deck, and then unless you're, part of the situation that's going to happen, like, everybody hit the deck, and everybody gets down, and then a shit ton of bullets goes flying through, then maybe, but unless you're already a plant in that case.
Yeah. Some people are very intuitive. I mean, they can read the scenario of a situation better than other people, and a lot of people are that way, and they don't even realize they're that way.
Right. You're just very perceptive. That's not a psychic ability. You're just taking notice of your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
You're just very observant. It's just you're just more observant than the average person. Most people just walk through their life. Oh, there's an ice cream parlor. I think I'll go in. They don't recognize the truck that's about to hit them because they're not paying attention. Then they have going on to number 5 on this list, telepathic instances. Again, not a thing. It says, do you feel like you can send messages through your mind?
I do, but they never get received.
Yeah. I'm sending some right now. Is anybody getting these? What am I saying? Come on.
The number 7.
Shit, that was exactly what it was. No, it wasn't. Actually, I was just going, duh. Just to see,
let me ask the Magic 8 Ball. What's Packard thinking? Without a doubt.
See, there you go.
There you go.
And then it continues on saying, have you ever felt like you're reading someone else's thoughts? Again, you're just being observant. It's, again, simple psychology. You're just observing their patterns and their behaviors, and you're just picking up on certain signs of what they're doing. Have you ever experienced a mind-to-mind connection? No.
This is meet a cute girl.
Yeah, well, yeah. It was like, oh yeah. If this were a thing, I'd be down the bar every night. I'm kidding. I wouldn't go down there because people around here are just way too crazy, and I just don't want to. I wouldn't want to listen to all that shit going on in people's heads. I have enough trouble with the shit that's going on in my own head. And it says, if you've experienced this from time to time, you have some form of telepathy. There's the TEL word again, which is a psychic symptom. Oh, can I get a shot for that? Because I don't want a psychic symptom. It sounds like I might break out at any minute.
Here's the thing about being psychic. If you could read other people's mind, that would be the most horrible thing in the world. I mean, You just imagine what people say out loud. Imagine what they're saying in their head.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of where this would actually be any good is in Vegas. Because then you go down and you sit there at the card counter, at blackjack, and the dealer has to look at his card, and you'll know whether you hit or to stand.
Yeah.
If I had psychic abilities, I'd be in Vegas now.
Yeah. But they're too upright citizens to cheat the system like that.
Yeah. Well, there's no law saying I couldn't use telekinesis or telepathic powers at the bar or at the casino. They'd have to prove I was cheating. And since there's no test for this, I mean real test, there'd be no way they would know. It's like they could strip me down or whatever, check me for wires, or they could say I was card counting. It's like I couldn't card to card unless you even if you said it to me. It's like this is this number. Okay, all right, whatever. I have no idea. That's something completely different. Card counting is another topic altogether. Now we're getting back into the repeats here again. The number 6 on this, the grand scale predictions and premonitions. So a daily premonition's not good enough. Now we need a grand scale premonition.
We need Pat Robertson's scale of.
Yeah, we need the Pat Robertson, or Pat Robertson, or what was his name? Camping.
Glenn Beck is.
Oh yeah, Glenn Beck.
Like every day.
Yeah, Glenn Beck pulls this shit every day. He says, "Oh, the economy's gonna crash, and we're gonna everything's going to the toilet." And it's like, no, we're actually doing a lot better than we are now, or we have been in the past.
Yeah.
And all your predictions have everyone has failed. Remember Pat Robertson said, "Oh, I know who's gonna be the next president, and it's not gonna be Obama." God told me. But he's like, "Shit, God, Obama became president. Oh. What the hell happened there?" Because he's making these false predictions. I mean, just going off, if we're going by the biblical terms of these predictions and what people would do to false prophets and things like this, he would have been fucking stoned right there on the set.
Yeah.
Right after the election.
I think he's been stoned since the 70s.
I think he's been taking those diamonds internally. I'm just saying. It says here, have you ever written down that you know, quote unquote, will happen in the future? Have they happened? If you have taken the time to write premonitions down or tell someone about them before they actually happen, and then they occur, then you have a psychic gift. Okay, I'm going to go to the restaurant, and I'm going to order eggs, and I'm going to order bacon and some extra hash browns. I wrote it down, okay? And on my way there, my car will work. Okay. I get in my car. Hey, the car worked. Prediction 1. All right, that's checked off. I go to the restaurant, and I order eggs. Yep, came through. And I order bacon. Yep, that came through. And extra hash browns. Yep, that. Look at that! It's psychic.
So that's grand scale for you.
For me, grand scale. Hey, as long as I get food in my stomach, that's grand scale.
Not knocking it, just.
No. Hey, if I make it to my next meal, then it's a grand scale. Fuck everybody else as long as I get fed.
I love how the picture for this particular number 6, it's looks like a nuclear.
Yeah, it's like a little bubbles of water, and then decide, oh, you know what? Let's put a nuclear bomb and lightning and explosions inside these bubbles. Because that makes it even more dramatic somehow.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Delusions of grandeur.
Yes, exactly. Now, this next one here, it's called psychometry.
Psychometry.
Psychometry, yeah. Thank you. I get this word wrong every time. Psychometry is evident. What does that mean, it's evident? If you don't even understand what the word is, how can you know it's evident? It says here that its psychometry is known as the psychic ability that allows individuals to sense or experience the history of a person or object just by touching them. There was a great movie, it was a movie, and then it was a TV show. It's called The Dead Zone.
And that was awesome.
That was a great film, or a great show. I really enjoyed it. The guy would touch certain things, and he would have a vision of something that was going to happen in the future. And because it was part of this brain, because he was in a coma or whatever. Look it up. It's actually a fun show. It was actually kind of a fun show.
It was Christopher Walken for the movie, and then had the nerdy guy from 16 Candles.
Mm-hmm.
What's his face?
Yeah, Michael Anthony Hall.
Yes. Yeah, the novel by King was also good.
Yeah. People think this is a thing. I mean, it's not really a thing. I mean, some people will claim this. I don't care who you are. You'll have to prove it to me. You will absolutely have to prove it to me. So if anybody that's watching this later on and you have some hate comments, you want to leave them below, go ahead. But if you say it's real, you're going to have to fucking prove it, because the proof is in the pudding and you're making the positive claim. This is bullshit. There's no evidence of this. I would love to have it be real. I would love to have it to be real, but there's no way to know.
But you see, of all of the things that psychics do, and I don't want to get off the list here, but being able to touch an actual object, I can see why that would be really powerful to the person who's looking for answers. It's sort of like why a lot of times psychics find they have more, I wonder if they have more success, I guess, using things like tarot cards or crystal balls, because, again, these are physical items and people can kind of see that they're actually manipulating things or doing things. And if you have objects that have been somehow connected to a person,
tarot cards tarot cards are exactly the same thing. It's no different than chance. No,
but I'm just saying that. But with touching a place or a person's hand, I wonder if that's what sucks people in, because it's like, well, it's not just them making stuff up. I mean, this is actually my grandmother's ring. Blah blah blah. You know.
Yeah.
And they're telling me stuff about it.
There was this scene from the old TV show. It's a very old TV show. It's called MASH. And Klinger says, I'm going to predict your future with these regular playing cards. You know, he was like your regular playing cards. He goes, 6 of spades, 7 of diamonds. And he's like, and he gets done, he goes, oh my God, I drew a straight. I'm like It was a little silly segment, but I mean, it's he was trying to claim he was predicting things just by drawing people's cards. This is where it's no different, really. But you're right there in that instance.
Contact us by email at ppappodcast@gmail.com or on Twitter as @PackardPokesat. Like us on Facebook.com/PackardPokesat. Call our Google Voice and leave a message at 662-709-PPAP or 662-709-7727, and we will respond to it on the show. Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time. Join us live at vonlive.tv/PackardPokesat. During the show, you can share your thoughts with us by calling 857-216-3200 using PIN number 35368 or on uberconference.com/PackardPokesat. For links to the stories, visit our show page at packardpokesat.wordpress.com. You can help support the show by purchasing merchandise from cafepress.com/PackardPokesat or make a donation to the show at patreon.com/PackardPokesat. If you can't afford any money, why not share the show with your friends and rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spreaker, and on YouTube. For everyone that shares and rates us, you kick ass.
The Atheists,
the Bible,
and No Wardrobe, the podcast.
Wait a minute. No wardrobe? You mean we're going to be naked while we do this?
Well, seeing how I'm an atheist and I'm reading the Bible, and since clothes are flammable,
fire, fire, fire,
I thought it might be a good idea to take them all off first.
Naked or not, follow along as we read, analyze, and try to keep you from falling asleep as we go through this boring-ass book.
Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spreaker. Who knows? We may even be on YouTube someday. The other one is, now we're going back into the dreams thing here. Remember we just mentioned the dreams previously? So they're recycling this one. The powerful dream, vivid dreams. I've had vivid dreams. Nothing came true out of those. I've had things events I thought that looked similar, like something I remembered that I thought I had. It was just pure coincidence.
I had vivid dreams that I walked out my door and my dad was standing there and he's, "Hi, Connie," and I'm like, "You're dead." So it was really sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, no,
it was disconcerting. I'm like,
I've had vivid dreams. I'm walking out the door and I find money outside. It's like,
yeah, I had that one quite a bit.
Yeah, or something. And you go to pick it up and I wake up and it's like, where'd the fucking money go?
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Shit, it was just here. It says that this is what it says. People with psychic abilities tend to have extremely vivid dreams and can remember detail after their wake. Some people, like I just said this a little while ago, some people can remember these dreams. Some people can't. Some people don't remember themselves dreaming. Most people do dream, they just don't remember. The symbols in their dreams. No symbols. There's no symbols in the dream. Unless you're unless you're holding actual symbols in the dream. Have deep-rooted meanings, and they're usually some sort of great understanding of the individual's life experience. Wrong. 100%. 1,000% wrong. Again, this is just made up of your actual day. Your brain just kind of puts shit together. You had an argument with your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or whoever. You could have all the shit happen, and it just builds in your brain trying to figure this shit out. What should I do? I have a vivid dream after I got done watching the goddamn movie of the new Planet of the Apes movie that came out a couple years ago. And it was like, my brain was like, trying to figure this out. How can we stop this? I'm like, brain, go to sleep. It was a fucking movie. Forget it. Okay? It was just for entertainment. We had fun watching it. Go to sleep. Leave me alone.
You're not going to make a monkey out of me. Okay. Dreams, and that's that whole debacle of dreams having symbols,
Yeah.
It's one thing for me to, I dream a lot, and I dream usually about what's going on in my life, and sometimes it's not clear, sometimes it's kind of symbolic, but that's all it is. And the problem with those books on dreams, interpreting your dream, is people read those because they don't know what the symbols, quote unquote, mean.
Yeah.
And so then you're fed you get a preconceived notion then from the book that says, well, this means this.
Right.
Know? And
you know what the thing is about that? You know what the thing that's really about that is you can consult. If you just consult just one book says, this dream means this, this thing in this dream means this. You go to another book or several other books, and those same symbols will be completely different. Or some of them might be the same. It's like some people say, well, if I was flying in my dreams, that means I'm free. I feel free and I'm relaxed. And other ones means, hey, you're horny. Okay, all right, fine. I'll take the one I like. I'm horny.
You're gonna take a trip.
Or I'm gonna take a trip. So it's you go with your personal bias. You go, well, this one seems to make more sense. How do you know that those other ones didn't make as much sense? Because they didn't seem to want to fit you. Because you've taken your personal bias and your narrative the way I want it to be. It's not anything that happens that actually is. It's just what you want it to have been. You want the most positive outcome. If the dream had said, okay, the flying part, I'm just going to go off on a whim here. In one book said, all right, you're going to take a trip, like Tom did just mention. And the other one says that you're going to fall down a goddamn well. And you just happen to be near a well, and you're going to go, you know what, I'm going to take the one that says I'm going to take a trip. But the trip is down the well. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. So you needed both. No, you don't need both. You don't need any of them. It's just complete stupidity. Then number 9 on this list, you said, you sense trouble. You're automatically fucking Spider-Man. My spider senses are tingling. That kind of goes back to the one where he said, if you're like, oh my God, everybody get down, and then bullets riddle the place, then that they could say, oh, you got a sixth sense of that. No, you were just observant. It's like, I saw the car, he was speeding by, I saw the bullet, the barrel of the gun come out of the window. So I'm like, I reacted because I'm being perceptive. That's just noticing everything that's going on around you again. Some of this shit that I'm going to say is going to sound like I'm repeating myself because this stupid thing is repeating itself. I have no control over that.
It's one of the most padded lists I've seen in a very long time.
Yes. And this is the way to describe it. It says, your very direct feeling of someone, just know someone you love is in trouble. This is a very bullshit claim because we are always worried about our loved ones. I mean, generally speaking, if you know you have a connection to somebody that's in your family, mother, father, parent, or a parent of some kind, child, or brother, sister, whatever, uncle, aunt, whatever, somebody that you're feeling close to is like, you're always going to worry about them to some degree. You're not going to be like, okay, I'm going to set that aside. Of course, then there's always the people who say, well, I had a bad feeling about this person and I didn't react on it, and then they had an accident or something. You couldn't have predicted that. It doesn't matter if you had a bad feeling about it or anything, because hindsight is always 20/20. Because you can always attribute something that you thought you had to a time that happened later on. It's piss poor foreshadowing. Unless you called them up and they said, don't go get in your car because your car's going to explode or something. And as you're talking, it fucking explodes, they might have something there. But then we'd have something to investigate. But we don't. Unless you're the one that rigged the car to explode or something.
Most people it's like, oh, I had a feeling something bad was going to happen to you. It's like, you always think something bad is going to happen to me.
Yeah.
The one time it happens, congratulations.
Yeah. It's hit and miss. It's usually most of the people count the hits, they don't count the misses.
Yeah.
I think everybody's had at least one time in their life. I can think of a couple where it was extremely huge coincidence, right? Yeah. And with this, it wasn't a matter of psychic, but it was a matter of something about prayer, and it was really hard to shake. Mm-hmm. The feeling that I got an actual message about a specific thing. But again, if you buy a lottery ticket every day, for how many years, you're going to eventually win something, most likely, and that was all that was. But when like you said, when something does happen, when a coincidence like that happens, it's really hard because again, we're pattern-seeking people, we're creatures. We, it's part of what keeps us, has kept us safe and everything else. And you're right too about thinking about everybody. I think about my kids every day, and just because somebody comes to my mind and then if something happens to them, it doesn't mean like, oh, I sensed it from miles away that something was happening to you. No.
Right. Yeah. No. You're right. You're just concerned about them. You're always someone's always on your mind. I just want to continue on the thing on this thing here. It says, it hits you with a great impact, and sometimes you have a great feeling of intense fear. That could be anything too. That can be anything as well. I live by myself, okay? Sometimes I hear things. I was like, oh, crap, that where'd that come from? That startles me because I live near a wooded area, so I don't know if something's trying to get in my house. And then it goes on and says, there's no explanation for it. This is wow. Can that right there, that line right there, just that little bit, that's a bit of a logical fallacy. That's an argument from incredulity because you're just like, there's no explanation for it, or moving the goalpost or whatever. You just because you don't have an explanation for it doesn't mean that there isn't an explanation for it.
Except this one explanation.
Except for this one explanation. Yeah, it's like the explanation for imaginary sky wizards. Okay. I can't explain how people got here, so God did it. Same thing. It's the same argument. It's just they put it in a different package. It continues on here saying, except you knowing something is deeply wrong with someone you love. That is really a fucked up way of living, to be honest. Yeah. It's fine to worry about family or friends or relatives or anybody else for that matter. It just shows that you have a lot of empathy. But sometimes if you're constantly worried about the welfare of somebody else, I mean, that's no good way to live. That's it's very detrimental to your own personal psyche because you're always fearful for everybody's safety that you don't have the time to experience your own life, and you're not worried about your own health at that point. It's actually unhealthy at that point.
Yeah. Well, it's unhealthy for your relationship with the people around you too.
Oh, absolutely. And here we go back to the padding of the list again. Number 10 on this list, you tell the future, which is the same fucking thing as we just read about you experienced the grand scale thing. Well, isn't that telling the future too? Well, yeah, but that one's grand scale. What difference does it make? Really, what difference does it make?
Is it just me, or does that look like Scalia?
Yeah. Oh, Christ.
Floating head Scalia.
Floating head Scalia, yeah. It says here, this is one of the obvious traits. Why is it obvious? Why is this an obvious trait? How do you know this is an obvious trait? All these other pieces around here were supposedly obvious traits as well of a person who has psychic abilities. Telling the futures of your friends and families, then having it actually happen is one of the number of ways that it proves that you are psychic. Or just proves that you're a big pain in the ass. Don't go out! Don't go out! Don't go out! You're gonna get hit by a train! I lived near a train track. The chance of that is pretty fucking high.
I just imagine how many people read this list and they're by this point they're all excited, like, this is me, I have all these abilities.
Yeah, I have all these abilities too. Apparently, because I've done this. It's like I've said, hey, don't do this. Don't use that saw because it's not working correctly, and they use it and they get hurt. I told you not to do it. I'm psychic. Apparently,
they're definitely hooking people who will think that, oh, this is me. I can do this. You know, I'm gonna buy your books and your videos. And
now we're gonna go into now we're gonna go deeper into the weird aspect of the realm. You thought this was just a top 10 list? Oh no. They actually added more because this list is quite padded, as Connie had said. You can heal. Well, I got a cut and I healed. Yeah, see, I'm healed. No, they're saying if you lay hands on someone who is suffering or ill, did you have a positive change in that sick individual?
And they got better.
And then they got better. Did many people have the psychic abilities that can heal others with their energy? You know, when my kids were younger, they were sick, and I'd help them to the bathroom, whatever. And little later on, they got better. You know why? Because I was touching them, apparently. Just holding their hand. That was all it took. Forget all the fact is, I had to, make sure that they were warm, they were comfortable, and make sure that they were, not throwing up and aspirating their own vomit or whatever, But just picking them up and just touching their hand, that was what healed them. Obviously, that was so obvious. Unless you can touch somebody and they have their arm or limb grow back, I don't fucking believe it. I'm sorry. If they spontaneously start getting better, and I don't know, I'd have to have somebody who has gone to the doctor says, yes, you're sick, okay? And then you go back, like, you touch them, and you go back 5 minutes later, it's gone. Then you might have something. Again, this has not been proven. This is total bullshit. This is all examples of people trying to trick you, okay? It's theater.
Yeah. Plus, if you had this ability, why would you waste your time being a psychic? Get a job at a hospital.
Right, exactly. Just go to the hospital. You're healed. You're healed. You're healed. And the thing is, this part here, what bothers me is, this part is actually supported by the religion of Christianity. There's the part of the Bible, if you lay hands on people, you can heal them. This was I was involved in the Pentecostal religion for a short time. This was one of the things. If someone is ill, you lay hands on them and you pray. This is the same thing. It's the same scam. You're not doing anything. It's just making you feel better about the fact is that you're there. Okay, you can't actually do anything, but you're thinking this activity of praying over shit and over the people is somehow going to change the event. It's not. Whether you are there or not, the event doesn't change except for it's on its previous course.
Yeah.
Number 12 was kind of funny. Hearing sounds. I hear sounds. I hear sounds because I have hearing.
What kind of sound?
What kind of sounds? Well, that's a good question. Have you ever heard sounds that others don't hear? Okay, well then, if you're in the same room and other people are not hearing sounds that you're hearing, go see a mental therapist quickly.
I've got a ringing. Does that count?
Well, that's what it says here. It says, do you constantly wonder why no one else is hearing rings, bells, and chimes? This is called tinnitus. Okay? I get ringing in my ears occasionally because I don't know why. I've had it all my life. It's just like, some people say, hey, this means if it's in your right ear, someone's talking about you. Someone's in your left ear, if someone's talking shit about you. And if you pull on your ears for some reason, it makes them stop. That makes them bite their tongue or something. I can never remember it's the right ear or the left ear. If someone's in my right ear, then someone's saying something nice about me, or is there something bad? I don't know if I want to pull. They're saying something nice about me. I don't want to pull in my ear, make them bite their tongue. It's like throwing salt over your shoulders. Like, oh, what the fuck? Why not?
I would think that hearing voices and sounds would indicate that you need to have something else checked.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you're hearing voices, that's a medical condition. You're having delusions. Please go see a doctor. Please go see a doctor. And I think this is the last one on here. Yeah, it's number 13.
Yes, it's the last one.
This we'll save the best for last. You can sense two places at once. Well, I get this when I sit. I get this when I sit on the toilet. I feel on both sides of my cheeks on both sides of the toilet. That's two places at once, isn't it? Is that the same thing? No. Okay. It says this is definitely one of the stronger psychic abilities and signs that you may be psychic. If you have ever been at home, no, I never go home. I don't live at home. Apparently, it only happens at home. Okay, all right, fine. Or in one place that is familiar to you. Okay, you can be not home at the time. All right, fine. But sense events that experiences are happening across the world in different countries, you are most likely psychic. Okay, I'm having a psychic ability. There's somebody else having a podcast right now, and they're talking about something else, but they're talking into a microphone. Oh my God, I have a psychic ability! Or I'm sitting on
personally, I'm having a psychic event about Hawaii right now.
I wish I could do that. I was like, oh, I'm having a psychic ability.
I would like to go back there one time.
Air travel you wouldn't even need air travel. I'm just gonna sit on my couch and I'm gonna have a psychic ability of being in Hawaii. I'm gonna walk on the beaches. I'm going to go and explore the volcanoes and everything like this. And I'm going to have a good time and come back, and I didn't have to spend any money.
What's the fun in that?
Hey, I have lots of fun with not spending money, but...
That's true. No, not that part, yeah.
And it continues on here. It says, if you have these visions of these events while they're actually happening and actually feels that they're being transported to the destination as it is taking place, then you have a heightened sense of psychic abilities. What's that woman's name? She goes, I was just sitting out there speaking out the spaghetti, and I just kept coming more and more and more, and the kids just kept coming in, and I just kept the spaghetti, and she kept, I forget this bitch's name. She was like,
what?
Yeah, there was, this was a while ago. See, I stopped this terrorist bombing because my child had a vision that there was terrorists. They were going to blow up this bridge, and I called the FBI, and they investigated, and they stopped them. Never happened. Never happened. No record, no incidents of it actually happening. I forget the woman's name.
I seem to remember now who I think I can see in my head who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Do I understand Magic 8 Ball? Am I seeing the right thing? Very doubtful. Okay, never mind.
Dawkins
this sounds like. Go ahead.
Dawkins says, if you feel like you can see the events that are happening, you're watching the fucking news.
You've fallen asleep while listening to the news.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if this is supposed to be that. What is it where your mind wanders off and your body's still laying there? What is that called?
Oh, it's called astral projection or Astral projection or out of body experience.
Yeah, out of body.
Same thing.
I think. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. No. I mean,
no.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing either.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry. You can believe it is. I don't care. You want to believe it? If you're not going around telling people, I have psychic abilities, give me money and I'll tell you your future. If you're doing that, fuck off.
It is interesting who accepts this kind of thing. And usually we try, we say, well, we kind of doubt somebody's mental capacities or education level or whatever, who believe in psychic powers. But when you look at the statistic that 3 in 4 Americans accept this kind of thing, I was curious about it. And there was actually a paper called Memory and Cognition, which was it was done across 3 different studies from the researchers at the University of Chicago. And they found that believers in psychic powers have memory abilities equal to skeptics, but they underperformed on tests of their analytical thinking skills. And so the strongest psychic believers and skeptics matched for years in education or academic performance were then invited to complete a range of tests of their memory and analytical skills. Mm-hmm. And the memory skills were fine, but when it came to differentiating, evaluating arguments, mm-hmm. that's where the differences popped up between skeptics and believers.
Right.
So it's hard in some sense. The belief in a supernatural has been around for centuries. You have the Oracle of Delphi from Greece, and it was really only looked down upon about the Age of Enlightenment and then it popped back up again in the 1800s. We had the what was it called? The spiritualism movement.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. This is such a.
I like Dawkins' comment here in the chat room. Thank you, Dawkins, for your comment here. He says, people using the astral projection, the next thing Christians will want to ban from the restrooms. Another topic altogether.
There is a group called Awakening Psychics, and they have a Facebook page, but the things that this group does not allow discussions of, and there's a list of different things. The last one is skeptics wanting to prove ourselves.
There you go. Red flag. Bullshit alert.
Bullshit alert. I automatically will be I'll kick myself out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going around and saying, hey, if you ask us to prove this, then then we're not going to do it because we don't have to prove it. Red flag. Flag. Okay, you have to prove it. You're the ones making the claims. You have to prove it. Well, we are sadly out of time. This was a fun topic tonight. One last thing here from Dawkins Dog. He says, archaeologists discovered we invented glue around 4,000 years ago. I don't think glue sniffing caused religion, do you? That would explain many things.
Magic 8 Ball.
Magic 8 Ball. Ask the Magic 8 Ball.
It is decidedly so, Dawkins Dog.
Tom, what did your Magic 8 Ball says?
Without a doubt.
See, there we go. All right, I'm going to ask the same question.
Okay.
Of my Magic 8 Ball here on my computer, and see what it says here. I'm going to retype. I'm going to ask the exact question here, and to see what it says here.
Because we believe in accuracy here on Packard Books.
Right. And mine came up most likely.
So three out of three.
See, it was the one time. See, it must be true.
It must be that Dawkins Dog is a psychic.
Yeah, it must be. He must be psychic because he knew all these our 8 balls were going to say the same thing.
I'm beginning to think I'm psychic. I'm looking at these comments, and I've predicted the responses to pretty much every single one.
We need to go into business, Tom.
Yeah, definitely. We could make a killing. All right,
that's the trouble. There's lots of people buying this shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, let's get some final thoughts. Tom, what is your final thought on psychics?
A lot of money to be made, but I can't make it. So sad.
Yeah, Connie, what are your final thoughts on psychics?
cold reading, an elaborate game of guess who. Who are you gonna call? I don't know.
Who are you gonna call? Psychic Busters.
Yep.
And my final thoughts on this: if you're just doing this just for fun and you're not charging money, have a ball. I don't care. But if you're charging money, you are scum of the earth.
If you're paying more than $5 for a psychic reading, you're dope.
If you're paying more than $1 for a psychic reading, you're a dope.
Well, you pay $10 for a movie, so
yeah. No,
psychic reading's entertaining enough for $5.
Not for me. Not for me. I'd say $1. You give me a psychic reading for $1, that's fine. But I'm not going to spend more than that because I use that money for food. And if you've ever seen my waistline, you'd know that I use it just for food.
Don't make me go to the Magic 8 Ball.
You're going to put, is Packard fat?
Your word's not mine.
Dawkins says, see a psychic for shits and giggles, not life advice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. All right, well, we do got to get out here. I want to thank everybody for coming. And Tom, where can they find your show?
Actually, if you search Tom Leeds, you will find me on Google.
Yes.
I'm everywhere now.
Yes, and he's also on YouTube as Tom the Atheist on.
Tom the Atheist on YouTube.
Yep.
Twitter and Facebook.
Yep.
And I'm everywhere.
Yep. And you can also
easy to find.
There you go. And you can also find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spreaker as well. So, and we have a second podcast, The Atheist Bible and No Wardrobe. Check that out. It's
that's a fun one.
Oh yeah, it's a fun show. It's a fun show. I can tell you right now, from so far that we've read in the Bible, that book has no morals. There's no moral compass. And there's no moral compass in this book so far.
No, but lots to poke fun at.
Lots. Oh, god damn, there's lots to poke at. Wow.
Yes.
Well, we've recorded quite a bit, actually, but not a lot's out. But wow, the morality of this book is just horrible.
There's a lot of fucking in that book.
There is a lot of. That's just on the first book. That's just the first book. There's a lot of fucking going on.
When people say this fucking book, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Well said, Tom.
Alrighty. All right, well, we'll see you next week with our short show, I think. I'm not sure. I'd have to look, but I think it's our short show next week because of the way the schedule has gone. So our first show of the month will be a short show. So until next week, this has been Packard Pokes At. We just poked at your psychics.
And that's a wrap.